7 killed, many injured as gunmen attack Plateau community. Military unmasks ringleader of Northeast suicide bombings. Resident doctors to resume strike January 12. And on the foreign scene, U.S. announces drug terrorism charges against Venezuelan President Maduro. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. And we begin with a sad development. Gunmen reportedly attacked Bong village in Domak district of Kwampan, local government area of Plateau State late Friday night, killing 7 people and injuring several others. Eyewitness said the assailant stormed the village while residents were asleep, opening fire sporadically. A local resident confirmed that some people remain missing following the attack. This comes just 3 days after a similar assault on Bom community in Chugui Vong district just south. Danan Cletus Silvanus, press director to Kwampan Council chairman, said authorities are working closely with security operatives to bring the perpetrators to justice and warned that casualty figures could rise. Efforts to reach Operation Enduring Peace for comment have not been successful. Now, security concerns continue to mount in parts of Kogi State as 7 members of the Evangelical Church Winning All Ekwa, abducted by suspected bandits in Ayetorokiri, Kaba Bunu local government area, have regained their freedom after a ransom of 15 million naira was paid. The victims were among worshippers seized when gunmen attacked the Ekwa church during a service, plunging the community into fear and panic. Local vigilante operatives and community leaders confirmed that negotiations with the abductors led to the release of the 7 church members. However, anxiety remains high as 31 other worshippers kidnapped during the same attack are still being held. Now, the Nigerian military has identified Sharif Umar as the suspected ringleader of a suicide bombing network linked to recent deadly attacks in the northeast, including the December 24th bombing at the Gombe Market Mosque in Maiduguri. This breakthrough followed intelligence-led operations by troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai during cordon and search mission in the Calamari area on December 31st, 2025, where 14 suspects connected to suicide bombings were arrested. Investigations revealed that Umar, also known as Yusuf, coordinated recruitment, training and deployment of suicide bombers and was responsible for organizing a failed attack in Damaturu, Yobe State. Further links were uncovered implicating his wife Yagana Modu and corroborating testimony from his stepdaughter Amina. All suspects remain in custody as security agencies work to dismantle the network and recover explosives. The military has urged residents to remain vigilant and provide timely information to support ongoing security operations. Now, troops of the Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai have uncovered a major cache of high-caliber ammunition in the Bulumkutu railway area of Borno State. The Theater Command said the recovery followed intelligence-driven cordon and search operations aimed at denying terrorists freedom of action. According to the military, troops acting on the distress call discovered 1,270 rounds of 12.7mm ammunition alongside live rounds and power banks concealed inside a drainage channel. The area has been secured with efforts ongoing to drain the channel to determine if more explosives are hidden. The military says no casualties were recorded and security in the area remains calm, with troops maintaining vigilance. Now, still, the Nigerian Army says it has rescued 31 kidnapped victims, arrested 17 criminal suspects, and recovered 2 pump guns action guns, with ammunition during coordinated security operations across several states in the last 24 hours. In a statement on Saturday, the army said sustained offensive pressure forced criminal elements to flee, allowing troops to rescue victims and consolidate control of affected areas. In Zamfara State, troops of 1 Brigade Combat Team 5, working with local hunters, responded to a distress call in Kadage village, Maradun local government area. On site, the terrorists fled, abandoning 25 kidnapped victims who were later reunited with their families. In Delta State, intelligence-led operations by troops of 63 Brigade led to the arrest of a suspected cultist and kidnapper, along with 11 accomplices in Oshimili North local government area. In Kogi State, troops of 12 Brigade rescued 5 kidnapped victims during patrols around Lokoja, while also discovering decomposed bodies in abandoned settlements. Further arrests were recorded in Kaduna and Nasarawa State as the army reaffirmed its commitment to protecting lives and property nationwide. Now, 3 people have been killed in a fresh bandit attack on Ungwer under Naalma ward in Malumfashi local government area of Katsina State. The attack occurred early Thursday morning when armed bandits stormed the village on motorcycles, shooting indiscriminately. The attackers reportedly told residents they were opposed to ongoing local peace negotiations and vowed to continue attacking the communities. 2 people were killed instantly, while a 3rd victim later died at Kwandala Hospital in Malumfashi town. Sources in Ungwer say villagers had to seek security reinforcement before conducting burials as the bandit threatened further attacks if residents gather. Meanwhile, in neighboring Ungwer Galadima, bandits reportedly rustled an unspecified number of sheep on Friday morning and warned of more attacks in the coming days. Residents described the incident as coordinated attacks and are calling on the government to deploy more security personnel, particularly in the eastern Malumfashi axis, where attacks have become frequent. Malumfashi local government remains one of the areas worst affected by banditry in Katsina State. And now move to politics. The Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives has established a 7-member fact-finding committee to investigate allegations that forged versions of recently assented tax laws were unlawfully gazetted. The move comes after concerns over alleged post-passage alterations to the laws passed by the National Assembly and signed by President Bola Tinubu, with the executive insisting on implementing them from January 1st, on implementing them from January 1st, 2026. The panel, chaired by Rep. Afam Ogene, will obtain copies of the laws as passed and signed, review the federal government's gazette versions, and determine whether any discrepancies exist. The committee has 7 days to complete its work and report back to the Minority Caucus, which described the exercise as necessary to safeguard Nigeria's interests, promote transparency, and ensure that citizens, especially the vulnerable, are not shortchanged. Now, still on politics, as the 2027 general elections draws nearer, political activities across the country are intensifying, with politicians aligning and realigning across party lines. The ruling All Progressives Congress APC has recorded a wave of defections by elected office holders, a development that analysts say could shape the political landscape ahead of 2027. Now, Bello Musa completes the report.
The recent surge in defections by politicians across different political parties reflect renewed alignment and strategic positioning ahead of the 2027 elections. Nigeria has witnessed the movement of governors, lawmakers and other key political figures into the ruling APC. However, the African Democratic Alliance ADC has also received defectors, signaling that political calculations are not limited to one party. Political analysts say these developments are likely to reshape the electoral contest and redefine party strengths as the elections approach.
So what this simply suggests is that in 2027, Nigerian politics, Nigerian democracy is not going to change from the past. So because it's the same thing that is happening this time around, it's even happening in a worse manner that people are simply cannot understand how within a span of 4 years a whole democratic system of Nigeria is turning into a one-party state.
So it is an absolute desire to control not only the political parties, but also to control the masses of the Nigerian people, such that everybody will just toe in line.
While some observers describe the mass movement into the APC as a threat to Nigeria's multi-party democracy, others argue that the trend reflects the growing weakness of opposition parties.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not that the country is shifting to a one-party state, but that we are still practicing multi-party politics. Only that some of the political parties that are believed to be stronger are now becoming weak. Considering now that most of the former contenders who have been participating in the opposition are bringing themselves to one clique, maybe the ADC, SDP, or whichever political party they are choosing for themselves.
Shinko believes the defections further strengthen the ruling party. However, Alzubair Abubakar cautions that the influx of political actors into the APC could trigger internal competition and possible conflict within the party.
We had Dr. Peter Obi had become to ADC from the former party he belonged as the Labour Party, and by implication this is telling you that in the southeast the advantage that PDP used to have will now be taken away by ADC, and that will give the APC another advantage, being that if not for this decamping, I'm sure most of those people from the southeast may likely go for the PDP.
But I foresee that there may be an explosion in the APC, because this year that we have come into, that's 2026, is probably a political year. You know that INEC has tinkered with the timetable, and primary elections will be held this year. Once the timetable is out, what will happen is that there will be political maneuvers across all parties and the country. Most of these people that are decamping are thinking that they have automatic tickets into the APC. The contest will come and they will see that they do not have that ticket. Some of them will not have that automatic ticket, including the governors. Then the same grievances will come up.
Analysts predict that more defections may occur across political parties, particularly after party primaries, as politicians position themselves for the 2027 general elections. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Still on politics, the All Progressives Congress in Plateau State has dismissed claims by the People's Democratic Party that Governor Caleb Mutfwang's defection constitutes a betrayal of public trust. Governor Mutfwang officially joined the APC on Friday, prompting the PDP to describe his resignation as a slap on the face of residents who trusted him. And the PDP State Publicity Secretary Choji Daliop said the governor prioritized personal ambition over the welfare of Plateau people and had no constitutional justification to defect without vacating office. In response, APC Acting Publicity Secretary Shitu Bameyi called the PDP claims empty threats and ill-conceived, noting Mutfwang joined the party with key PDP members, including senators and local government chairmen. Bameyi described the move as calculative, measured and popular and said any PDP threats are of no effect, adding that scapegoating the APC is totally misplaced. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, residents seek federal State support for Kaltungo cultural heritage. This plus more will return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is News Update on Trust TV. In case you missed it, here's a recap of our top stories again. We told you that 7 killed, many injured as gunmen attack Plateau community. Military unmasks ringleader of Northeast suicide bombings. And now move to health stories. Resident doctors in Nigeria have announced plans to resume their total and indefinite strike, complete strike from January 12, 2026. The National Association of Resident Doctors say the decision follows the federal government's failure to fully implement a memorandum of understanding signed after the suspension of their last strike. In a statement, NARD President Dr. Muhammad Suleiman said the action was approved at an emergency meeting of the association's National Executive Council. The doctors say the renewed strike, tagged "No Implementation, No Going Back," will begin at midnight on January 12 unless their demands are met. They also plan nationwide protests with demonstrations and press briefings across 91 medical centers. NARD says the government has ignored multiple deadlines to address issues including unpaid allowance, salary arrears, and the reinstatement of dismissed doctors. The association insists the strike will only be suspended after full implementation of all agreed demands. Now, residents of Tore and neighboring communities in Kaltungo local government area of Gombe State have called on the federal government and Gombe State government to support the efforts of the May Kaltungo in promoting cultural values to boost tourism and economic development. They made the call during a tourism visit to the Pantom Valley, part of activities marking the just concluded Kaltungo Cultural Festival. Now, Trust TV's Adamu Imam reports.
Pantom Valley is one of the most significant cultural and historical sites in Kaltungo Chiefdom. Surrounded by rocky landscapes and high mountains, the valley offers a serene environment suitable for leisure activities such as swimming and relaxation, with strong potential to attract investors and generate revenue for the state. As part of effort to promote cultural heritage and youth participation in tourism, the May Kaltungo led visitors and community members on a guided tour of the site. Highlights of the visit included traditional wrestling, langa competition by Kaltungo youths, and colorful cultural dance performance, showcasing the rich traditions of the chiefdom.
Want an assistance of the federal government, so that from the state level to the federal government level, we want them to put hand in this place, so that the place will be modernized. You see the road. We come here, our chief is even trying to fall down because there is no road. So we appeal to the federal government to make a road here from the road to this stream, so that it will be nice. Even motor, even the governor, even the president can even come here and watch what is happening here. So because of the lack of no road, we are finding problem to come here. So we appeal to the federal government to at least assist us.
Governments, local governments, if they can find like animals and put them in place, like monkeys, chimpanzees, like just for the sake of people to come and see, snap pictures, make this water to be more than this, like to be more cleaner, and then if they can make a good road, because we suffered on our way coming here.
Speaking at the event, the Mai Kaltungo expressed appreciation to all cultural performers and participants who contributed to the success of the festival. He urged residents, especially the youth, to preserve their cultural heritage, describing culture as a people's identity and a key driver of unity and development. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Kaltungo.
Now, Canada has deported 366 Nigerians between January and October 2025 as part of an intensified immigration enforcement drive. Official data from the Canada Border Service Agency also shows that 974 Nigerians are currently awaiting deportation. Nigeria ranked 9th among the top 10 nationalities deported in 2025, with the majority, about 83%, being failed refugee claimants. Criminal activities accounted for roughly 4% of removals. The Canadian government has committed significant funds to strengthen border security and removal operations, including an additional $30.5 million over 3 years for deportation efforts. Analysts warn that deportation could rise further if Bill C-12, also called the Border Bill, is passed. Nigeria remains the only African country featured in the top 10 for both deportation and removals in progress, alongside countries like Mexico, India, and Haiti. And now in business, Kaduna State Commissioner for Planning and Budget, Mukhtar Monrovia, has clarified that Governor Ubasani has not taken any new loans since assuming office. Monrovia explained that the 2026 budget, which took effect on January 1st, will be financed through statutory allocations, internally generated revenue, and grants without borrowing. He said reports suggesting fresh loans stemmed from a misunderstanding of the loans drawn down component, funds from loan secured by previous administration. The 985.9 billion 2026 budget, titled Consolidation of Transformation for Inclusive Development, allocates 25% to education, while capital expenditure receives 70.9%, aimed at infrastructure, economic growth, and improved service delivery. Monrovia commended Governor Sani for aligning the fiscal year with calendar year, noting that the budget reflects the administration's commitment to consolidating past gains and building sustainable development. Now away from Nigeria, the Trump administration announced Saturday that Venezuela's captured leader, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife will face drug and terrorism charges in the United States. Attorney General Pamela Bondi said on social media that the Maduros will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts. They are to answer the existing charges of narco-terrorism conspiracy and cocaine importation conspiracy in the New York federal court. The announcement follows President Donald Trump's claim that U.S. forces captured Maduro after a large-scale strike in Venezuela. Trump added he would provide further details during a news conference at Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. The situation is developing as the world watches the unprecedented action against the Venezuelan leader. And now in sport, the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, hosted in Morocco for the first time in December, has reached the round of 16 with no major shocks so far. Pre-tournament favorites, including Nigeria, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, and Senegal, have all advanced, keeping fans and pundits excited for the knockout stage. One of the most anticipated fixtures is South Africa versus Cameroon, a clash expected to provide fireworks despite both teams having unremarkable group campaigns. For Nigerian fans, all eyes are on Monday when Eric Shell's Super Eagles, the only team to win all their group matches, take on Mozambique in their last 16 fixture. Expectations are rising as the Eagles aim to continue their unbeaten run. And with that, we have come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to watch and catch us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Thanks for watching.